There is no joy like Easter joy. What is Easter joy? Well, Easter joy is when we exalt in our victory. Exalt over our enemies. And we all have enemies, don't we? We have personal enemies, we have national enemies, but we all have these enemies in common. Satan, sin, and death. I remember when I first met death. I was very young, maybe 5 years old. I don't even think at this point, I'd even been at a funeral, but I remember looking in the bathroom mirror at my little 5-year-old face, and all of a sudden the realization came upon me that I was going to die. And my little soul was filled with terror, with horror. And what is a little guy to do? What can any of us do in the face of something so final? John Milton, in his epic poem, Paradise Lost, personifies sin as the offspring of Satan, kind of like a mermaid creature with instead of a fish, it's a long, scaly, snaky tail. And out of her torso came all these dogs and kind of hellhound type creatures, you know. And her son was death, a phantom-like creature. And they both guard the gates of the underworld. And they're very inviting. And in fact, they bring everybody, and no one can escape. Everybody has to go through this gate. But no one can check out. No one can ever come out. Now, in the ancient world, in Jesus' time, there were certain myths about the gods going into the underworld, like Osiris from Egypt and Baal from Canaan, and Dionysius from Greece. Aeneas was supposed to have gone down into the underworld and come up, but everybody understood that they were gods. Okay, they were mythological, and a lot of them didn't even believe it. I mean, you know, but what we have with Jesus Christ is something that's categorically different, something that no one ever experienced before, where a man like you and I, we could touch. The disciples, they walked down the path together. They ate with him. They joked around together. They could touch him. They lived together in a community. That this Jesus Christ died and rose again. In other words, he went where no one else ever did go before. In space and time, in reality. And you know, he bursted the gates of hell open. Why is this? Because he was sinless. You see, death is the son of sin. And those who are sinless cannot be held by death. This is the joy of the first disciples. They were beside themselves with joy. They couldn't believe their eyes. Something stupendous as a man that they know. Jesus coming back from the dead. Wow. You know, now I do look into the mirror. It's not a very pleasant sight. I'm getting all these wrinkles. I'm getting baggy eyes. My hair's turning gray. And you know, I am going to die. But I have no fear at all. None. Why is it? It's because I'm filled with Easter joy. I know that, like my master, Jesus, that I will die, but that I will rise again like him. I know it. I'm filled with Easter joy. I just hope that this Easter is one of Easter joy for you, and that we're not just going through the motions. It's real. The Lord is risen. The Lord is risen indeed. I need to teach you some liturgical stuff here, okay? The Lord is risen indeed. And we can say it with the same joy that the disciples did.